Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Today I'm at our local shopping mall. Now, I say it's a mall, but actually it's an estate. It's like a massive car park with shops on the peripherals. It's very, very grey, and that's probably because it was built on top of an industrial estate which existed here up until the 1980s. It made Talbot cars. I don't know if you're old enough to remember the Talbot car, but the factory here was huge, and it used to transport them all over the world. So this shopping estate or shopping mall is built on top of that. So it's like a massive, huge car park, and they've built all of these shops around it. So in this kind of like post-industrial environment, I think they're trying very hard to do things with these areas which historically were very grey and depressing. The same with the old mills that existed here. It is very grey and depressing, there's no doubt about that. The colours of these shops aren't bright. It still looks like an industrial estate. It looks somehow dirty or just grey, and that's probably because of the sky, which right now is very grey. And I'm walking around with my phone being stared at by lots of people who are in the local supermarket, which is called Asda, doing their shopping. Now, the one thing about Asda is their signs are all neon green. They're really, really strong, luminous green signs. So I'm not sure if neon's the right word there, but they're very bright anyway. And because of that, these hugely bright signs, are kind of poking into the darkness. So it's quite atmospheric. For those of you who are Arab or live in the Arab world, I can describe it as always Maghrib time. It always just looks like sunset, basically. But without the sunshine, with clouds. It's really very, very depressing. Someone once said that you really have to be a little bit depressed to live in the UK, and I kind of agree with that. Looking around here, the only thing I'm seeing are these bright green signs. Everything else just looks dead. Anyway, I'm about to enter one of our charity shops. A charity shop is a shop which is designed to raise money for a particular cause. Okay, so this one I think is called Cancer Care. Okay, or Cancer Research, actually it is. And the idea is that you donate all of the items you don't want, they clean them and resell them at a higher price. But you can buy things in there which look practically brand new. So it's a good place to go if you're looking for a bargain. I mean, I don't think I'd buy clothes from there, but certainly for furniture and other things. I do have a podcast about charity shops from, I think, a few years ago I did that, so you'll be able to see that somewhere on my social media. Aside from that, I can tell you that the airport is very close by. So there's planes zooming over, and that again gives this place a feeling of a real lack of peace. And speaking of people, when I go to these supermarkets, especially these large ones, I just see people who are buying way, way too much. Now, I'm not judging them, but we live in this culture of disposal. And it just makes me really uncomfortable when I see the woman or the man shoving as much into the trolley as they can, just like Godzilla attacking the village, as I said a few weeks ago before Christmas in another supermarket. So I'm really uncomfortable with that when I see the amount people buy and waste. Because in theory, I'm living in an area where everyone's claiming government benefits. Everyone says they can't find work. Everyone says they're sick. But yet everyone drives Mercedes, everyone drives BMWs, and if you want evidence of that, I'm just looking at the traffic and the cars parked here. This is supposedly the most impoverished part of the UK, but yet I don't see evidence of that. So something isn't right. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying these people are not entitled to government benefits. I'm sure they are. But there's something that doesn't quite calculate, something which doesn't quite add up. Okay, so I'm going into this charity shop, which is just across the road from me now. So I'm going to stop this, and after I have my little browse, I will then move on to the supermarket, which I'll do in a separate podcast, okay? So there we are. I hope that gives you some kind of insight into where I am today. Just at a final glance, I can see the supermarket has a garage, like a petrol pump. There's also some big names: Nando's, B&M Home Store, Cancer Research, Argos, Pets at Home. I need to buy my cat's pet food there as well. As the pharmacy, as the opticians, as the supermarket, as the coffee shop, as the George clothes range, and a whole host of other as the things. Looking up at the mountains, which are behind the as the store, there's clouds rising and falling in a very kind of eerie way. I mean, it looks beautiful, very picturesque, but more like something out of a Gothic Victorian novel because there's no sunshine, so it takes a lot of work to stay happy when you live in an environment like this. You know, people have very dark minds sometimes. Anyway, that's enough from me. So let's talk again soon, and I'll see you. Goodbye.